At least over the past couple of years, there have been a lot of stories in the news about teens as young as 11 years old that are committing suicide because of bullying, and I'm sure that's it's a compounded effect of a bunch of different reasons. But it's a good picture, isn't it? It's my headshot. Do I do it this way?
There we go. Yeah,
One.
got it.
Wait, which? Where's this? Where's the sensor? Over there?
I think it works when it wants to.
This clicker does not work. Oh, there we go. So I have a quote for you guys. The pressures on gay teens can be overwhelming. To keep secrets, tell lies, deny who you are, and try to be who you're not. Remember, you are special and worth being cared about, loved, and accepted just as you are. Never, ever let anyone convince you otherwise. This is really important to me because back in my freshman year of college, I was not someone who was all about gay pride and marching in parades, and I'm still not really that person. But when kids are killing themselves over this internal struggle that they have, it's to the point where people need to start being honest with themselves and really figuring out why this is happening. So we have two things. We have tolerance and we have acceptance. And in college I learned the difference. Tolerance is kind of the easy way out. It's saying, I'm okay with who you are, but I'm not going to accept you, and I don't have to, I'll only be nice to you because I have to do it. Whereas acceptance, it's saying you're different than me, though we are not the same, you still deserve the same amount of respect that I do, and that every other human does. Okay, so, we have Jamie, age 14. Brought a little cheat sheet. So Jamie said, I always say how bullied I am, but no one listens. He wrote this on September 9th. What do I have to do so people will listen to me? In the months prior to this, he routinely blogged about school bullying and thoughts of suicide in between upbeat posts about his pop star idol Lady Gaga, and the ordinary types of teen rants typical for kids his age. Jamie's mother said that her son had questioned his sexuality for the last year, and that a lot of classmates used those issues as an excuse to say horrible and malicious things to him. And a few days later, he hanged himself outside of his home in suburban Buffalo. Yeah. Then we have Larry King. This is a pretty big one. In the 3rd grade, he was being bullied by his fellow students because he was effeminate. He was very open about being gay. He was pretty young, having come out of the closet at 10 years old. A day or two before the shooting, Larry walked onto the basketball court in the middle of the game and asked Brandon to be his Valentine in front of the team. On the morning of February 12th, Brandon was witnessed repeatedly looking at Larry during a class in computer lab. And at approximately 8:15 local time, Brandon shot Larry twice in the head using I'm not really a gun person, but it says .22 caliber revolver that he took out of his backpack. Following the shooting, Brandon tossed the handgun on the floor and walked out of the classroom, where he was arrested by authorities. This is kind of self-explanatory how ridiculous this is. Tyler Clementi, this is a pretty recent one. You guys may have heard about it in the news. He was 18, he was a student at Rutgers in New Jersey, and his roommate video streamed Tyler kissing another man over the internet without his knowledge. And the next day, Tyler jumped to his death from the George Washington Bridge, and that was September 22nd last year. Matthew Shepard. Matthew Shepard was a student in Laramie, Wyoming. The play The Laramie Project is based on his life. It was decided that when he was at a bar, he was going to get a ride home from these guys, McKinney and Henderson, and they subsequently drove the car to a remote rural area and proceeded to rob, pistol whip, and torture Shepard, tying him to a fence and leaving him to die. According to their court testimony, McKinney and Henderson also discovered his address and intended to steal from his home. And he was still tied to the fence when a bike rider found him and mistook him for a scarecrow. That's how bad his body was at the time. Then we have Asher Brown, who's 13. Brown's family said he was bullied to death. He was picked on for his small size, his religion, and because he did not wear designer clothes and shoes. Kids also accused him of being gay, some of them performing mock gay acts on him in his PE class. Brown was found dead on the floor of his stepfather's closet at the family's home in Cypresswood at about 4:30 on a Thursday. He used his stepfather's 9mm Beretta stored on one of the closet shelves to kill himself. Then we have Billy Lucas, age 15. This 15-year-old never told anyone he was gay, but students at Greensburg High School thought he was, and they picked on him. People would call him fag and just make fun of him because he was different, said student Dylan Swango. Students said on that same day, some students told Billy to kill himself. After enduring bullying torment from his peers, his mother found her son hanging in their barn. Just really trying to get this point to sink into you guys. Now you'll notice that there's not a lot of girls on here. Teen boys are at much higher risk to commit suicide, which kind of makes sense because boys tend to not talk about their feelings, because that's not very masculine. We have Jamie Hubley, who was 15. He was a singer and an actor. He loved Lady Gaga. It's kind of a common trend. And he posted numerous videos of himself singing on his YouTube channel. Jamie wrote a month before his suicide that he was looking forward to taking dance lessons. In a post 3 weeks after that, he said he was depressed and that the medications he was taking weren't working and that being gay in high school was just too hard. 1,000 times harder in real life than on the popular television show Glee. Who likes Glee here? Everyone likes Glee. Jamie updated his Tumblr blog for the last time and said goodbye before being found dead in his home in October of 2011. And then we have Seth Walsh, 13. He paid, his brother at his funeral, Sean, paid a poignant tribute to his brother, who was 2 years younger than him. He was holding a microphone and standing at the altar of the First Baptist Church in Tehachapi, California. Sean joked that his brother could be a pain in the butt at times, but that Seth was the best big brother in the world, no, the galaxy. He was wearing a plaid shirt and, without mentioning a word, made a heartbreaking reference to bullying, the specter at the heart of his family's mourning for his openly gay brother. Sean said he always wanted to protect him and then stabbed in the church. He said he just wished people could have been nice to him like his mom taught him. On September 19th, his mother had found Sean unconscious. He had tried to hang himself from a tree in his backyard after another bullying incident, and they took him to a hospital, and he was in a coma, and he could not be revived. So it's kind of alarming that this has been occurring more and more over the past few years, and I'm here because I don't want this to happen in a town near me. I grew up in Madison all my life. I knew a lot of kids that were bullied really badly, and I kind of want to know why people bully. I know we've all done it to certain people that are weaker, and it makes us feel maybe a little bit better, but it's difficult because you're really just insecure and you're trying to bring yourself up by bringing someone else down. Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, do any of you have any ideas about why this stuff kind of occurs? Anybody? Way in the back. Thank you, way in the back. Look at me halfway. Hi.
I feel that people bully other people because they pick someone who's weaker or not as popular as themselves, and it makes them feel high, and makes them feel as if because their friends are standing around and cheering them on while they do it, and it makes them feel better about themselves, that they're accepted by their friends. But if they're your friend, you wouldn't have to do that to get acceptance, and that's basically what I feel about why people bully.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, especially there are a lot of different minorities and there are a lot of different reasons why you get picked on. In our society, for some reason, it's taken a really long time to accept gay people for just being who they are, as very similar to being straight. It's the exact same thing. How many of you have a gay friend? How many of you have a gay friend? That's good. It's good to have a gay friend. I don't have that many gay friends. It's a lot of competition. I just kind of encourage you, if you're not one of the people that's raised your hands, just to try and get to know somebody that's a little bit different from you. I know it's difficult, especially because you have to keep up appearances and be as cool as the rest of your cool friends. And maybe if you don't do it in high school, you'll probably finally realize when you get to college that people are grown up and most people respect each other. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that are called It Gets Better. It does get better, hopefully. It's definitely difficult, but it does get better because as you grow up, other people grow up, and they start to realize like what's really important in life. Does anyone else have any comments that they want to get across? Right over here.
I just want to say thank you so much to everybody. Last time I talked, I was really, really nervous, if you couldn't tell. And after I talked, everyone was really accepting, and even people I didn't know came up and hugged me and said thank you, and people stood up and clapped for me. And it just made me so happy. And the next day, when I came to school, I wasn't scared to come to school. I wasn't nervous, and I wasn't like, I'm not good enough to walk in the hallway because I don't look good today. I got up and I was so happy to be in school because I knew everyone had just come to accept me, maybe not everyone, but most of you guys just came to accept me and you guys listened to me, and it was really nice. And I don't want this school to get to that point, because I know we're such a tight-knit community in here, and I know we can be. So I just really want to say thank you to everybody who's accepting people. And I also want to say, because I don't want to make myself look only like a victim, because it's not fair to other people, I really do want to say sorry to everyone I've bullied and to everyone getting bullied. Thank you, guys.
It's wonderful. Yeah, you should really start thinking of your school if you haven't already as a community. I don't know, how many of you are, is this all grades in here? Is this freshman through senior? How many of you guys are freshmen in here? Ooh, way at the back. That's how it is. How many of you are seniors? Front row. Right in the center. Yeah, I mean, if you're a freshman in here, you guys way in the back, it's definitely tough to be a freshman in high school. You all should be thinking of this place as your second home until you can get out, which will be wonderful. But you should all treat each other with a lot of respect, because you don't want it on you if someone like this, someone in your community suddenly does something because they feel like they don't have a voice. You don't want that on your back for the rest of your life. It's a lot of guilt, and guilt's not good. So where are we on time? We have lots of time. 10 minutes, awesome. So I have a song for you guys. As I said, I'm a singer. It's a little bit cliche.